In a world that feels more chaotic by the day, some companies don't have the luxury of avoiding it. They have to sail right through it. This is the story of one of those giants, a company responsible for moving the global economy. So the real question is, how do you stay afloat when the seas get this rough?
Think about it. Almost everything you own, your phone, your clothes, the coffee you drank this morning, it probably spent some time inside a big metal box on a ship, just like this one. Container shipping is basically the invisible backbone of our entire world. But what happens when that backbone is put under some serious stress?
So to get a handle on this, we're going to zoom in on one company, Ming Marine Transport. They're one of the top 10 shipping lines on the entire planet. And their story, right now, gives us a perfect window into the huge forces that are reshaping global trade as we speak.
Okay, so to really understand their strategy, first we have to understand the storm they're sailing through. And let me tell you, it's not just one storm. It's more like several massive storms, all hitting at the exact same time.
Yeah, people inside the industry are calling it a perfect storm. One of those rare, once-in-a-generation combinations of events that creates this incredibly tough environment. It's basically a battle on 3 different fronts.
So, first up, you've got geopolitical risk. The crisis in the Red Sea is forcing ships to completely ditch the Suez Canal shortcut. Instead, they have to take the long, way more expensive route all the way around Africa. Then you've got economic headwinds. A whole flood of new ships that were ordered back when business was booming are now hitting the water, and that's creating a massive oversupply problem. And finally, there's the green mandate. New environmental rules are demanding huge, costly investments in cleaner ships and new kinds of fuel.
And look, this isn't just me saying it. This quote is pulled directly from Ming's own financial report. They know firsthand about the significant uncertainty they're dealing with. And we all know that's corporate speak for, wow, things are really complicated right now. And right here, this chart shows you the core economic problem in a nutshell. The supply of ships is projected to grow way faster than the demand for shipping things. To put it really simply, there are more ships than there is stuff to put on them. And when that happens, the prices they can charge for shipping just plummet.
So you're faced with this perfect storm. What do? Well, a company like Ming doesn't just sit back and take it. They're fighting back. And they're doing it on 2 major fronts, with some pretty aggressive investments in technology and a really forward-looking green strategy. And this is not science fiction. This is happening right now. They're using low Earth orbit satellites, which means they get way faster internet out on the open ocean. So what does that let them do? Well, it means a doctor on land can guide a medical procedure at sea in real time. Or an engineer wearing an augmented reality headset can walk a crew member through a super complex repair, which saves a ton of time and money.
They're also building something they call a smart ship war room. Okay, think of it like mission control at NASA, but for a global fleet of massive cargo ships. It's this multi-year project that's going to pull in data from every single ship. We're talking fuel use, weather patterns, engine performance, you name it, and let the execs on shore make smarter, faster decisions for the whole fleet.
And on the green side of things, they are really putting their money where their mouth is. They've ordered a dozen of these enormous new ships that can run on liquefied natural gas, or LNG. It's a really key transition fuel that slashes emissions compared to the old traditional stuff.
Now, what's really incredible is that this proactive approach is already working. Through a combination of newer ships, smarter operations, and just optimizing their sailing speeds, Ming has already hit the global 2030 emissions reduction target. That's years ahead of schedule.
But all the cool technology in the world is only half the battle. They're also making some really sharp strategic moves from that war room to get costs under control and manage the huge risks that come with modern shipping. A huge part of managing risk is just being completely obsessed with safety. This 4-step process, constant training, intense inspections before departure, non-stop monitoring, and always reviewing for improvements, it's applied to every single container. And the result of all that focus? Well, in 2024, not a single one of their containers was lost at sea. 0. And this chart right here, this shows you exactly what's at stake for them. You can see that Europe makes up almost 40% of their business. So that crisis in the Red Sea, it's not some distant problem. It's a direct, major threat to their single most important shipping route.
So to get more control in this crazy environment, they've made this huge strategic shift. It's kind of like the difference between always renting a car versus just buying your own. Instead of relying on leased ships and containers, which is flexible but can get really expensive, they're buying more of their own assets. By owning more of their ships and containers, they're trading some of that short-term flexibility for long-term stability and, most importantly, cost control.
All right, so after all of that, the tech, the green investments, the big strategic shifts, we have to ask the most important question, right?
Did any of it actually work?
Well, the answer seems to be a pretty clear yes. Even smack in the middle of that perfect storm, Yang Ming posted an after-tax profit of over $500 million. And get this, that marks their 6th straight year of being profitable. That is a truly remarkable run in an industry this volatile. So in the end, companies like Yang Ming are making these massive, incredibly complex bets on technology and strategy just to navigate all this global chaos. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As the journey of that simple metal box gets riskier, faster, and a whole lot smarter, what does that mean for the price you pay for everything it carries?